Hi everyone. Imagine a smart, inclusive, and forward-thinking Surabaya. Today we are gonna construct such a blueprint for it.
Okay, so firstly, we will have some brief introduction of social and economic situation in Surabaya. First, we talk about poverty. Actually, Surabaya has made significant progress in poverty reduction in the past 50 years. This poverty rate fell from 7% in 2010 to just below 4% in 2024, making the lowest level recorded in this period. And also, the number of poor people declined largely, from like nearly 200,000 in 2010 to now just 160,000. Actually, this due reduction in both percentage and absolute value reflects the effectiveness of target poverty reduction efforts. And the second, we will talk about income distribution. Actually, this chart presents the average population expenditure in Surabaya and is categorized by welfare levels from 2018 to 2022. All this data indicates persistence inequity in household expenditure, with the richest level person spent and consumed around 6 to 7 times more than the poorest person. Actually, this highlights the disparity in the income and the consumption. And then we also have the data for education and employment. Well, for education, the gross enrollment rate for 2022 to 2024 actually proves constant improvement across all educational levels. These indicators actually highlight Suribaya's efforts in expanding education's participation, especially at the primary level. And then Surabaya actually has a very high and stable employee rates across all education levels, and it actually reflects a healthy economic environment. However, we can see the slightly lower rate for junior high school graduate. It actually suggests the potential barriers to the job market and also potential skill mismatch. And then we also have the data for healthcare. Actually, this chart shows a general increase in the number of healthy facilities in the village from 2019 to 2024. And while you can see some clinic and health centers have significant growth, hospitals saw very slower progress and even decrease. So it actually indicates a focus on basic and multi-special care, but potential gaps in a comprehensive health service. And then we did some research to the basic service of Surabaya. First is about water access. Actually, Surabaya has achieved a significant increase in the clean water coverage. In 2019, it already reached around 99%. And the public transportation. Actually, public transportation coverage in the city reached around 70%. However, only less than 12% of population can access public transportation without relying on private vehicles. And then the housing. Actually, informal settlement have been completely eliminated since 2019. However, cities still face some significant challenges in housing affordability. So based on this analysis, we have made several challenges which Surabaya may face in the future. So first, despite poverty reduction, there is still some persistence in equity in the city, because we know the richest person still spend and consume 6 to 7 times more than the poor person. So that's a problem. And second is skill gaps and educational access issue. So we can see like the GRE for the senior high school graduates are still very low. It's about 63 percentage. And also we can see the employment rate for the junior high graduate is relatively low compared to the other graduates. So there may be some potential skill mismatch problem, and we need to figure out this problem. And third is healthcare service imbalance and the coverage gap. Actually, we can see the hospital is decreasing in the recent years, so maybe there are some gaps in a very comprehensive health service in the rural areas. And third, I think the public transportation can be improved, because now the public transportation is mainly concentrated on the city centers, and some rural areas still need to be improved. And also, we have some housing affordability problems because price of housing is very high in the city centers, and it will cause some social problems.
Okay, right now, let's review two typical and two representative smart city initiatives all over the world. The first one is the Decode, which is derived from the Barcelona. The Decode is based on a blockchain to basically rewrite the data routes for the poor, and they can share the environmental data via the privacy protecting technology. And the second we want to introduce is the digital meddling. As we all know, it was plagued by the violence, by poverty, and by chaos. And the digital meddling transferred this city into a digital template through the collective efforts from the governments, from the academia, from the startups, and it aims to expand the free internet access across over 300 public sites, including schools, hospitals, and libraries. So in total, it reaches 1.5 million residents. Okay, let's jump into the part of the smart solutions using the emergent technologies. The first part of the solution is the digital literacy. The digital literacy should be treated as a public infrastructure alongside with the roads, the water, the sanitation, and it should be embedded in the local communities like the public schools, like hospitals, and it should also be led by the local ambassadors such as the school teachers, such as the pre-teachers, the village gurus, and the digital literacy should be treated as two levels. The first one is the basic level, which is to equip the residents with the basic skills for accessing the basic internet and the basic digital content. And the second level for the digital literacy is to promote and cultivate the residents' ability to understand, to design, and even to co-product the digital schemes. And in order to maintain the sustainability of digital literacy scheme, firstly, it should be integrated into the municipal education policies, and secondly, it can be scaled up through the targeted and cost-effective investments. Okay, the next smart solution is about the education and the jobs. We should develop an AI-driven matching platform built with the local employers and the vocational schools to connect the job seekers to the tailored job opportunities. And because the informal workers comprise a big proportion of Surabaya workers, so they should be treated well, and the workers can be validated skills and provided the credentials through the mobile and modular-based training. And a pilot gig worker registry could link the digital IDs with the certification and the right protections. And lastly, we should capitalize on the tourism to attract more digital nomads and experiential freelancers by investing in the co-working mobile areas. The next smart solution is about the smart care. The Surabaya should move beyond the centralized healthcare delivery to a more decentralized system. The partnership should be established with the startups and universities to pilot AI-driven early detection tools. And secondly, the mobile-based telemedicine platforms should be integrated without the patients traveling far away. And lastly, we should focus on the physical healthcare system, especially the frontline cadres who are already known to the local knowledge, so we can integrate the digital health system with the cadres' working practice. And lastly, we target at the smart tourism, which is a hidden gem, and Surabaya should foster a community-based digital tourism economy and enabling the locals to map the historical sites and to showcasing the historical stories through the mobile storytelling firms, and we can use the AR technology to immerse the virtual travelers into this area and amplify it through social medias. And the traditional campuses could also host a co-working cafe by day and the Baltic workshops by night. And the homestay could also serve as a cultural exchange hub in which guests might learn from the recipes from the traditional recipes while helping the locals navigating the complex digital tools.
Okay, so next part we will provide inclusive smart city framework for Surabaya. So we will begin with the technological drive to poverty reduction. So firstly, I think we should position digital infrastructure as a public utility. For example, we can expand free Wi-Fi to the more place, and then we can provide some subsidy to the low-income family about the mobile data. And second, I think we can also develop some digital literacy and the skills for the local residents. For example, we can design a digital literacy curriculum to equal residents with basic and also advanced computer skills. And then third, I think we can have some smart community healthcares. I think we should shift towards to the community-based healthcare by cooperating with some startups and also the university to deploy some offline AI apps. I think this is a way to improve the health knowledge to the residents. And also, I think we can develop some community-driven digital tourism. Actually, I think we can create a community-based digital platform for mapping some cultural landmarks and sharing some oral history, and also designing AI tours. And last part is about inclusive transportation. I think we can launch an AI-based micro-transit system using electronic minibus, which is accessible by the apps and SMS. So I think this is a way to improve the inclusive transportation. And then for the regulatory privacy and ethical consideration, we have several advice. So first, I think we should maintain some routine privacy audits during the whole process. And second, I think maybe we can establish some ethical review board with community leaders to maintain the transparency during the whole period. And third, we should establish a sandbox to do some pilot innovation. So I think that's the way to consider regulation things. And then third, I think for the community participation and agency, we can firstly establish some smart councils in the neighborhoods and engage residents, leaders in the project. And second, we can launch a multi-language feedback platform. And I think in this platform, the residents can provide some feedback in real time. Third, I think we can train some community volunteers to deliver our smart city citizen education programs. And then last part is stakeholder engagement. Actually, we have several stakeholders. So firstly, government. Actually, I think government should establish a smart city task force to coordinate inter-department efforts and align with Indonesia's national smart city programs. And also we have some community leaders. Actually, I think they should cooperate with residents, and they should somehow monitoring some implementation by the multi-language platform to ensure the local relevance and trust. And third, we have NGOs. Actually, NGO can offer us some technical expertise and advice for our pilot programs. And third, we have some private sector. Actually, private sector contribute technological and funding through private and public partnership, and also they can help to develop some AI-based platforms. And then we have academic institution. Actually, they can help us to design some training curricula, and they can develop some localized innovation while promoting some community-based research. And that's all of our presentation. Thank you for listening.